All right, so we're going to start. Welcome to the Texas Veteran Strong Creative Networking meeting. So we have mostly veterans, creative veterans here today on the call, it looks like, but a couple of veteran service providers as well who can tell us about what they've got going on. So for those of you who are new to this, usually what we do is we have a guest. If we have a guest speaker, we'll have them speak. And we do this time. And then after that, we'll go around and everybody introduce themselves, tell us what you're working on and how we can collaborate on anything or that sort of thing. So our guest today is Aubrey Harvey, who is with the Veteran Spouse Network, actually a longer title, I think you guys go by. But I will let Aubrey start. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and I'll share your screen. You need that, right?
Okay, yeah, I can go ahead and jump into, I have a little presentation with some slides for you guys, or do you want me to wait and everyone else introduce themselves, however you want to do it,
No,
or save that for the end?
yeah, we'll start with you. Let's
Okay,
see.
well, let me share my screen.
There you go. I made you a co-host, so you can do that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, can y'all see the slides okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for the awesome introduction. And yes, my name is Aubrey. I work as the Partner Relations Manager at the Veteran Spouse Network. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about what we do. And if you're interested with partnering with us, how that can happen, and just a little bit more about our programs. So you can kind of be thinking about ways as I'm talking of how you or your company or your artistic abilities can potentially weave into our programming. So real quick, a little bit about our team. We're pretty small. We have Dr. Lisa Bora. She's actually a research director. So she's our director of the Research Institute for Military and Veteran Family Wellness, and that's housed within UT. And so I'll get into that a little bit in the next few slides about kind of how Veteran Spouse Network got started and how her research kind of funneled that. Hannah O'Brien, she is the VSN program director. She has been with VSN since day one, working with Dr. Bora on getting this nonprofit started. Ashley Craig, she's our marketing and outreach manager. So she's the one that created these lovely slides and any of our social media and posting and stuff like that for VSN, she's in charge of. Like I said, my name's Aubrey. I'm our partner relations manager. And then lastly, we have Lorianne Rodriguez, and she is our program manager. So all of the programs that you'll be seeing, she helps manage those and recruit participants. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about who we are at VSN, our different programs, how you can partner with us, and just how you can get involved if you yourself are a veteran spouse, or if you're a veteran and you would want to introduce this to your spouse or any of your family members. So like I mentioned before, a lot of what we do is research focused. And so the VSN was created through research that was done at the Institute for Military and Veteran Family Wellness. And that's Dr. Bora's Research Institute. All of us VSN staff, we're mostly working on VSN related projects, but then also helping out with research initiatives as well. And a lot of that is just through surveys to our participants and things like that to better understand the veteran spouse community and family members and what they're really needing for support through our programming. And also, I forgot to mention this, but please feel free to throw in any questions or interrupt me, all of that type of stuff. I know sometimes people have questions, and I personally hate waiting till the end because sometimes I forget. So don't be shy. So a little bit more about our history. We started VSN in 2016. And so 2 years prior, Dr. Bora got contracted to do a research study that was done, I think, by Texas Vet Commission. I can't remember exactly, but her main goal was to go around Texas and do peer support programming to see what do veterans need, what type of resources are they needing for their families and their spouses. And what happened was a lot of spouses ended up coming to these peer support groups, and they were letting her know, like, we need something like this. We don't have anything like this. Our veteran, they told us a few things, but we also wanted to come to show you that we're needing some peer support. And so she took those findings, wrote up her reports, but then also felt really compelled to get something started herself. And so that's kind of how we got started. Our main focus at the Veteran Spouse Network is to provide any type of support, peer support and guidance to spouses and partners. So that can kind of mean a lot to different people. We don't, we're not out here checking marriage license or anything like that. So if you identify as a partner or a spouse to a veteran, or even active duty military member, we would love to have you. Couples, we also do a little bit of like couples programming, and we don't offer any clinical counseling, but just different ways to kind of come together as a couple to learn more about each other and learn more about the needs of veterans versus veteran spouses and that type of thing. And then also family members. We do some programming for family members to come learn and get some peer support as well. So at a glance, this is just talking a little bit about the size of our network. Right now we have about 3,500 members on our listserv. So we do monthly newsletters. So this is a great way to get our information out there to our network, to know of new programs that we're starting or new collaborations that we're doing, and that type of thing. We have about 7,000 followers on social media, whether that be Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all combined. So our reach there is pretty big and growing every day. For our programming, we usually do 150 plus programs a year, and we usually at least have 4 to 8 programs running each week. So we'll get into a little more about what those programs look like, but they range from all kinds of different things. And each year so far, we've had about 600 plus participants in our programming. And we have these numbers because we also are grant funded. And so each quarter and all of that, we're really diving in, calculating how many participants we're getting, and always trying to drive in more. And since everything that we're doing is peer support focused, we have to recruit peer leaders. And so those are leaders that volunteer their time, they get trained as peer leaders, and then they really have the freedom to pick and choose what type of programming they want to help out in. So right now we have 40 plus leaders, and we just started with the new grant being able to pay them. So that's been a really awesome way that we're able to give back to those leaders that have been volunteering their time for so long. So real quickly, just a glance at our programming, and then I'll dive into each one a little bit more. But we have our Veteran Spouse Resiliency Group. So that's going to be our curriculum peer support groups that we run. And those can either be 12 weeks, 8 weeks, or 6 weeks. Oh, we have someone wanting to join. I will let them in. And then next we have our Empowered Ed programming. That's where we bring professionals from different fields that come and give their professional opinion, reports, things like that on topics that revolve around military and veteran communities. So I'll dive into a little bit more about that, but that's where we bring in that research side. We love to keep our spouses and participants informed in the newest, research initiatives, or just different things that are pertaining to this community. And then next is our VSN social clubs. So these are just the fun ways that our leaders get to use their creativity to do little one-off groups. And so you'll see later we have writing clubs, art clubs, that type of thing, just to get spouses coming in if they're not sure if they're ready for that peer support curriculum driven small group. This is a way they can come test out, a one-off and see like, okay, what is this all about? And then last, we have our peer-to-peer connect. And so this is a way for spouses to get one-on-one peer support. This is not a substitute for clinical counseling. We advertise it as there's another veteran spouse, another veteran family member, military family member that is available to talk to you if you need that one-on-one support before wanting to join any of the groups, or even if you have done a group, just know that that one-on-one support is there for you as well. And lastly, our newest thing is we started a podcast. So that's Hannah O'Brien, our program director, as the host. And here we just talk about different things pertaining to our programming, but always bringing on another veteran spouse to kind of bounce off that conversation. And it's just another way for spouses to be able to tune in and listen to other spouses talk about things that they might be going through. Any questions so far? Any comments? Anything like that? If not, I'll keep rolling. Okay. So a little bit more about our veteran spouse resiliency groups. Like I said, this is a curriculum-driven peer support group. And so a while back, we did a research study on what are the different topics that spouses would want to cover if they were to join a peer support group. And we started there. And that was, I guess, almost 10 years ago now. But we are constantly updating it and always getting feedback from our participants and from our leaders on what should we be talking about, how should we be discussing it. So that's what's really cool about this curriculum, in my opinion, is that it's constantly changing. So even if you've done it once, you know, you could wait a few months later and there might be something new in there that you could learn. And all of it is research driven as well. So these are just some solo sessions that are being offered within the next few weeks. And so what we do with these solo sessions is it's just a one-off meeting time, and we'll pick a chapter out of our curriculum and go over it with a small group. And so we picked these just because we know February can be kind of a time about love and things like that. So we're trying to focus on topics that involve that, and also like that first one, how to take care of yourself. A lot of times, veteran spouses and military spouses spend a lot of time taking care of their service member and taking care of their family, taking care of the house, and they don't spend enough time taking care of themselves, and it kind of trickles into the family and the veteran and all of that. So we really try to promote self-care as much as we can to our spouses, because a lot of times it's not getting promoted enough. And then that next one is compassion fatigue. And so this is where we come together with the spouses and really teach them, what is compassion fatigue? How can you see the signs and symptoms? What are ways that you can keep it from getting to a point to where you're feeling just so exhausted taking care of everyone else that you can't take care of yourself. So those two tie together a little bit. And so these will just be one-off sessions that we have coming up. And next is our Empowered Ed. So like I said before, these are educational opportunities that we provide to our network, where we bring on speakers, educational professionals, and even have trainings offered for free. Most of these are open to the veteran and military community as a whole. So veterans themselves can come, active duty service members can come, the family members can come, because we just want to find ways to spread information to this community in a free way, because a lot of trainings and things like that are pretty costly. And so we use our grant money as much as we can to provide free trainings, which I'll get into what trainings we provide here in a little bit. So two awesome upcoming events that we have. One is we will be having Dr. Angel come and talk about spiritual and moral injury. And so this is kind of a newer topic, in not necessarily a newer topic in the veteran military community, but it's just being studied more and more, and I think being taken a little bit more seriously. So now we're really wanting to get this information out there from professionals that are in the midst of studying it every day. And so Dr. Angel has come on before, and it was a really awesome program to watch and just to learn what is a moral injury, what's a spiritual injury, how can you help as a spouse or family member with your veteran or your service member going through this, because it's even tough for them themselves to understand, and they're the ones going through it. And so finding ways to just better understand it as a family member is super awesome. And then when we have one of these professional speakers come, we always want to follow it up with a peer support complement, because a lot of these topics are very deep and very real, like happening every day in people's lives. And so we found that if we offer a peer support complement, usually the next day, spouses do want to come and discuss what they've learned and discuss how they're seeing it in their lives daily after going to that seminar. So we always follow it up with something afterwards so spouses can get that extra support. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the BSN social clubs, these are constantly changing. Our leaders are always coming up with awesome ideas and fun different things to try to see if we can get other spouses coming and involved. And if we do get big attendance, then we'll make it a reoccurring one. And so this has been something that we've done with organizations that are even here today, of doing different artwork, social clubs and things like that, that we have made continuous, and bringing you guys on to help with these social clubs. The spouses love anything artsy, that type of thing. They absolutely love it. So upcoming events that we have social club wise are Pursuit of Values. So that's going to be Miss Emma Martin just coming in and giving her spousal peer support opinion on what it means to pursue your values as a spouse and as a family member, but tying it into the military and veteran community, but also just tying it into your daily life and anything like that. I will actually be hosting one on February 29th. And it's called Getting to Know You with Myers-Briggs. And so there I'll be breaking down how you can use the Myers-Briggs personality exam to kind of better understand yourself, better understand your veterans, your family members, even your coworkers, and that type of thing. So just something fun that I'm interested in, that I feel like other people could be interested in. And so why not? And then lastly, coming up, we have Caregivers Corner by Miss Holly Doggett, excuse me. She's been a VSN peer leader for a few years now, and she's awesome. So she just is going to be talking to spouses and anyone else that joins on what it means to be a caregiver and how you can identify as a caregiver, because even the VA offers a lot of opportunities to spouses if you are a caregiver. So just opening up a space where spouses can come and discuss these different topics. So going into some of the trainings that we have, that we offer as Empowered Eds, but a big initiative that we're taking due to a grant that were awarded through USAA, it's called Face the Fight. We're really pushing our suicide prevention initiatives as an organization. So these trainings are really a huge way that we're doing this, and it's by offering them for free. So mental health first aid, that's one that anyone can come to, and it's just, you're going to be getting those tools on what can I do as a provider, as a friend, as of anybody in the military and veteran community, or just in the community in general, learning more about mental health illnesses and how you can be there for someone that's suffering from mental health illnesses. Next, we offer SAVE training. I believe this is once a quarter. And so this is the training that is done through the VA. And so we've partnered with them to offer it to our network for free. And you can come learn about suicide prevention initiatives that they have going on, and learn some, valuable knowledge on how to identify that in your home or in anyone that you know that may be suffering. And lastly, this is our newest one that we've started. We offer CALM, which is Conversations on Access to Lethal Means. And so here we talk about lethal means in general. A lot of times people automatically assume firearms, but that can also be prescription medication, and other things like that. And if you have a veteran that is, going through a rough time, what it means to have that conversation with them and have a plan of action in case things, do take a turn. What are some ways that you can protect your family and your veteran from these lethal means? And so really opening up that conversation and learning on having a safety plan. And so our next one, the Let's Talk About It, Taking Action, that's where spouses can come together. And Ashley Craig, who I mentioned is our marketing and outreach manager, she actually leads these discussions and talks to spouses about her own experiences and helps them kind of feel better in a peer support setting on the information that they learn through CALM, through mental health first aid, or SAVE, to kind of come together with another group of spouses and talk about these things. So this is just a few of our trainings that we're offering. And here's what we have coming up. So like I said, we have a CALM coming up actually today. So that one's already got going, but tomorrow, Ashley will be following it up with a let's talk about it, taking action. So again, that's where those spouses can come together. And then on Saturday the 24th, on a Saturday, sorry, you said that. We have mental health first aid and calm training together. So that will be an all day. You'll be getting both certificates that you completed both of those to kind of a 2-for-1. And lastly, I already touched on our peer-to-peer, but again, this is just where spouses and family members can come get that one-on-one peer support. And so this is a program that I've actually started managing, and I'm available to meet if you know anybody and you feel comfortable passing them off to a specific person. You can definitely pass them off with my email or something like that as well. So leader opportunities. We really rely on our partners and awesome people that are in this community to refer people to the Veteran Spouse Network as participants, but also as leaders. So if you know a spouse that really is passionate about helping other spouses, and you see them doing it on their own time and really caring for other people in this way, mention us and let them know, like, hey, we pay $25 an hour. Just come, and you get a lot of freedom on how much or how little that you want to help out and want to do. So we really rely on awesome organizations like you guys to send those awesome people that you're meeting this way, and letting them know that there are resources out there that pay to be just a good peer support. And a little bit more about our podcast. This is something I think is really awesome that we started with Hannah. New episodes come each second Friday of the month. And like I said, there's always different topics. We usually try to match them on what empowered ed focus we have going on. And so recently, I know Hannah brought her husband on, who is a veteran, to discuss his experience with moral injury. And I see, Denise, you have a question or raised your hand. Feel free. I don't know if you were having trouble, so it might be in the chat. I'm not able to
Put her
see.
question in the chat. She was
Oh,
asking,
okay.
what's your rate of participation? She sees that you said 7,000 followers, 3,500 participants. How many are actually participating in your classes? We want to know your secrets.
So it really ranges on what event is going on. So our empowered eds, those always get way more people signed up because the what's the word? There's less restrictions on who can come. So we see veterans, we see providers, we see a lot of people come to those. But then if it's a writing chat, we might only see 5 or 6 spouses sign up for those, because it's something that at that time of day, or we try to bounce around different times of day, different days of the week. So it really ranges. But I would say, people always ask us, how many active people do you have in your network right now? And that's kind of hard for us to gauge, just due to it's kind of up to our network to want to come to things on their own. So I would say, each month we have probably about 20 or so different events going on. Usually each event at least has 10 people there. So that's kind of how and it depends, like summer months, it goes up because people are at home, they're hanging out with the kids more, and they might be needing some more peer support. The holidays, we saw a big rise in participation because we were doing a lot of talking about the struggles and stuff in the holidays when it comes to veteran and military families. So it really just depends. But I think our outreach and what we're doing on social media and coming to these things and talking about what we're doing really helps. Just getting the word out there and letting spouses and people know you have somewhere to come to really helps. So thank you, Denise, for that question.
Are these events on Zoom or in person, or a mixture of both?
Mixture of both. We do a lot on Zoom just because now we are branding ourselves as a national organization. So that kind of happened during COVID. We used to be Texas only. And during COVID, we opened it up, and then we saw all of these spouses coming from different states. And we've even had a few from different countries, which I just think is wild. And that's when we really realized there's not really any other organization that is super focused specifically on the spouses. And so we were like, okay, we have to grow this. Because before that, we had never really been pushed to know if there was a need outside of Texas or not, because all of our grants were Texas funded. And so now that we've opened up to having some national funding, we've been able to grow in our branding and grow in our initiatives to try to reach people nationally. So because of that, and because of our amount of peer leaders, we're always offering stuff online, but our hope is to get enough little pockets of participants in each states or in different big hubs and have more in-person events around the nation. But right now, most of our in-person events are only in Texas. Any other questions on that type of deal?
Yeah, Carol wanted you to post your email, so whenever you're done, we can make sure to put your stuff in the chat.
Okay, yeah, all of that will be coming up on a slide as well. We're almost done. And so becoming a partner, since you guys are all different organizations, I wanted to go over this really quickly. So this is how we as VSN can support you. You guys have your own specialty, and so we love referring any of our participants if they're super interested on a niche topic. We love to let them know, like, oh, hey, there's Veteran Art Spark, and this is what they do here in Texas, and you should go see what they have going on and bring your veteran, that type of thing. And sharing your programming. So during our newsletter, that's a way that we offer to share your programming, let people know what's coming on. We can repost your stuff on social media, that type of thing. And then again, in our newsletter, that's where we get a lot of our bumps in attendance. After we put that newsletter out for the month, people know what we have going on, and then boom, people are signing up. And so that's just another way that we're really able to kind of communicate with our participants in that way. And then a little bit about how you can support us as Veteran Spouse Network. Referrals, if you're meeting or seeing spouses come and joining your stuff, offer them like, hey, I didn't know if you knew, but there's Veteran Spouse Network. Here's a little bit what they do. They're more mental and emotionally well-being focused, and they do offer different types of programming, that type of thing. And leader referrals. Like I said, we really count on you guys to bring people to us that you think would be awesome leaders in this community. And then if we do have in-person events, we love having them at our partners' locations. So that's a way that we can talk about our partner, showcase our partner, and then have our small group or anything that we have going on in that way. And then social media as well, following us, reposting what we have going on. And ways that we kind of make partnership easy, in my opinion, is we have a referral tool. It's a PDF with clickable links that we could give you. And then also our monthly calendar. This is a PDF that you can download, and the links and everything update automatically. So if you have those two PDFs saved to your computer or anything like that, it's something that you can always have and send out easily, and they get updated on their own. So there's nothing that you have to do. And we also have a partner toolkit. And so this even has all the links to the other two. So to me, this is the one-stop shop as a partner. This is all you need, and we have it on here for you. And so I'll be sending that out to you guys as well afterwards. And here's a little bit about our social media. I'll fly through that. And so something that I started after taking over this role that I've already found to be really helpful is I'll be doing a bi-monthly, which means every 2 months. I've looked it up. It can mean twice a month or every 2 months. So I always like to say every other month, where it's just partners. And so I talk to the partners. I see what everybody has going on. And any of our partners that want to be involved, this is a way that we can keep you involved on the partnership side. Like, here's what we need from you as partners, and here's a way that you can tell us what you need. We do different surveys that you can fill out of like, hey, I have this event going on. Can you please, as a partner, showcase this any way that you can, that type of thing. So it's an easy way for me to stay in touch with you guys as partners on what you need and what we need from you. So if you can scan that with your phone, or I can also send the link to that as well of how to sign up for that newsletter. And so here's my contact info. And thank you guys for letting me come chat a little bit about us. I'm so excited to hear more about the different organizations that are here today in this awesome meeting coalition. And if there's any questions that I missed in the chat, now let me take a peek and see. And I can also send my info in the chat so I can stop sharing my screen. But thank you.
Thank you so much, Aubrey. That was great.
Of course. Thank you.
I know that a lot of the people we work with, a lot of the people in this group are veteran artists who maybe would be interested in teaching one of your, classes to spouses or things like that.
Yeah.
So have them reach out to you if they have any thoughts or ideas on that.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And I'm dropping my email in the chat right now. And then I'll follow up through. Would it be easiest if I just reply all to the meeting invite and send some of the PDFs and stuff? Or maybe I can send them to you.
Send it to me, yeah, and I can
Okay.
send it out, yeah, to the people who were here. And we also do record this and put it up on our YouTube so people can watch it who missed and get information that way as well.
Awesome.
So let's see. I know that Michaela had to leave, so and they put in the chat that she was with the Institute for Veteran and Family Military Families, and they're headed to Texas twice in the next few months. So there's links to 2 different events, and these are actually both of these I put in our newsletter that just went out earlier this week. So I'm sorry that she wasn't able to tell us a little more about them, but
No, yeah, I'll actually be going to a meeting with them and their institute whenever they come. So they're another school doing awesome work for veteran spouses and family members. So definitely look at them as awesome resources as well, because they have a lot of awesome stuff going on.
Yeah. Well, let's go around and just hear from everybody who you are, what you're up to, and then I'll finish with what we've got going on. So how about John and Jennifer?
All right. So what did you want to know? I'm sorry.
Just to tell us about yourself, why you're interested in this meeting. I know you do art. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so just we moved here back to Texas. I'm from Galveston area, but we've been living in Arizona for about 17 years. When I was medically separated, we came back to Texas, and then Hurricane Katrina happened and we couldn't get a job here. Everybody was only hiring Katrina victims, so we had to take a job in Arizona. So we've been there the whole time. Moved back here when my health got so bad. So we've been here probably about the last almost 2 years now. And I've been doing art, and I've got tons of glass bottles that I've been painting. And so I was drinking quite a bit with all the pain. So someone told me to start painting. So I've been painting those, and a lot of my drinking has stopped, and I'm now painting those and doing quite better with that. So I kind of wanted to share some of that art, with a lot of people here and continue my art. But I have to move some of it because I have no place to store any of this. So, but I found you guys online and noticed that you guys were locally, and we can come over and hang out with folks on Sunday. I saw one of the Sunday events and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we have Sunday makers meetup every last Sunday of the month. So that's come and do an art activity with us. We provide all the supplies. And then I know, John, you and I have talked about the third Thursday, which is an opportunity we usually have like 2 or 3 artists in our space here, which is in East Austin in our house. It's a gallery, kind of a self-guided gallery walk in the East Austin area. And so third Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. So this Thursday not this Thursday, because that's today. Next Thursday, we will have 2 painters that will be here showing their work. But yeah, John, stop by and see how it works, because I'd love to have you for, any of the next months coming up. We have space. And yeah, and what about Jennifer? Does Jennifer do any art or writing, music, anything?
Easy.
Right. Um, I just kind of dabble. Just now trying to get into some resin, learn more about that. That looked interesting, and I just love spending time with my husband. So here we are.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right, let's see. How about Ray?
Yeah, hi, Rim. Well, I've been participating with Art Spark for a few years, not so much since the pandemic and they went to the Zoom meetings. I was pretty reliable participant in all the in-person stuff. I love Art Spark. Even before, what did we used to be called? I forget.
VSA Texas.
Yeah, VSA Texas, right. So I love the organization. I'm a writer, or I pretend to be a writer, and I love all the opportunities that Art Spark has given us to get together and learn. I've been in classes taught by actual college professors, I believe, that were very informative. Lots of ideas for writing things. I've done a lot of writing motivated by my classes at Art Spark. And I just like the organization. Now I don't have a spouse, so I'm not sure in this particular Zoom meeting how much of this is really I can really contribute to. But I still love listening and still love learning. And I'd be interested in anything that had anything to do with writing. I know they do a lot with art. A lot of the classes are directed towards art, and I didn't. That's not my forte, so I didn't take those. I stuck to the writing ones. But heck, the DSA before they were Art Spark, they even sent me to a huge I don't know what you call it. It's the every year the writers and editors get together in Austin for it's been going on forever. And Art Spark got me signed up for one of those things. I actually got to sit down for 10 minutes with an editor from a big New York publishing company, and show them my story and stuff. So lots of opportunities here, things you'd never even think of, and the learning has just been incredible. I mean, the teachers that you're sitting down with in some of these classes are really, really good teachers. I go to college classes once in a while, not so much lately, so I have something to compare them against. And I don't know if they're professionals, if that's their job, or if they're donating. I have no idea. I just know they're good. And I've even gotten some story ideas from the classes. I have a story out there specifically from the Art Spark. I got the idea from them. So I don't know, just love the organization, love to lend my support. I wish these were in person. I'm always going to vote for in person, but I don't want to drive to California. So I understand the Zoom part of it. And that's it. I just wholeheartedly support everything. I'm glad you're doing things for spouses. I wish my spouse was here. I would love to dig into this, and I'll do whatever I can. I'll just listen in the background and jump in when I see an opportunity.
Thank you so much. Yeah, the writing classes, we need to find another really good writing instructor like we had with Clayton. He moved. We might be able to get him to do something virtual for us at some point, but we just need to find more writers to work with us on some of these classes like we were doing. Yeah, before the pandemic, we were doing a lot more in person of the writing classes, which was nice. Let's see, we've got on here, Gina had to leave. She's with the Texas Veterans Commission Northeast Region Supervisor, and put her information in the chat. And Elizabeth, you put your information in the chat, but please introduce yourself.
Hi, sorry, I just had to unmute. My name is Elizabeth. I just go by Betsy, and I'm a social worker at the Dallas VA Medical Center, but I work in several counties all over North Texas. And I also work in Hood and Somerville. And I don't do clinical social work. I do community outreach and try and bring sort of education and some materials to nonprofits and small businesses and colleges in relation to suicide prevention, specifically with veteran or veteran families. But it's Texas. There's lots of veterans. You never know where you're going to meet a veteran or someone who knows a veteran or related to a veteran. So, and I fortunately stumbled across ArtSpark. And so I think this is the third meeting I would have been to. First time I started attending was last month. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Betsy. How about Cody?
How's everybody doing today? I'm doing the same as I always do. I'm working, and then as soon as I get off work, I go play out and do stone sculpture, or steel, or wood, or sometimes a little bit of both altogether. Anything that keeps me out of trouble, or it's good for the head and good for the soul. We just had the annual Veteran Artist Gala here at the Santerra Club in San Antonio. Mario Lopez, who won the award through ArtSpark Texas for all of his contributions, him and his wife did all that and sponsored all of it. And, well, not sponsored, but gathered all the sponsors, and just fantastic events. It was a 300 seat ticket thing that sold out fairly quickly, along with corporate tables and the normal gala type thing. We had the normal group of merry marauders, and we had about 3 or 4 brand new veteran artists that joined us. So that was fantastic. See, one of them, it was his very first art show, and he's a wood carver, chainsaw mostly. Did some really great work, had made some sales, and had some great feedback. So that was really cool. It's good to see them getting out and making connections and networking, because what I think overall what we do and everybody we're connected to, I think everybody can agree that probably the most important thing for us humans is having a community. That is the most powerful thing. People to put you in check, to check up on you and everything like that. So these types of networks that you all are invited in and spreading around, and we're invited, they're gold. So that's a little bit about that. Me personally, other than just doing artwork all the time, because that's what I do, I've got like your East Austin show, East West show that goes on out there. We've got the On and Off Fredericksburg Road studio tour coming up in March. So everybody's getting geared up for that. That's where 7 neighborhoods around the Deco Art District open up their studios and their homes, and all the artists, you can come see them, where they do stuff, how they do stuff, and talk to them and buy their stuff. There are a lot of veterans from the Vietnam era and earlier, well, not earlier, but later, involved, as well as non-veterans, but they're all, like, again, a big community. So that's always something we look forward to. And it's been kind of strange for the last year and a half. April, I'm sure you maybe have noticed something at Beal House. They just, I don't want to say fired, but that's probably the best word, released the executive director.
Okay,
He just
yeah,
wasn't.
I noticed a lot of turnover.
Yeah, he had a different kind of agenda, and nothing we need to get into here, but he's gone, and there's somebody new as interim, I guess. His name is Nicholas. I've never met him. But I just talked to Jill Ewing at the Veteran Show, this gala this past week, and Beal House will be putting on a veteran art show this November. Kellen had it to where it was like biannual, just because it was such a large production, but I think they're wanting to get back on their feet and kind of return to what made Beal House real strong, and get away from this kind of weird cloud we've been under for the last year and a half or so. So that's something to look forward to. So any of the veterans that want to come out, participate, and hang out at Beal House for an evening of veteran art show, please do. If you need more information, just shoot me an email. Let's see what else has come up. The only other thing, other than the normal stuff, is I've got a big solo show coming up in June at the Carver here in San Antonio, which is a historical community art center. And to even wrap my head around the size of that place and how many sculptures I'm going to need is a little bit frightening, but I'm working through it, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. That's about it.
Where is that going to be at?
June 27th. And it'll last for about a month and a half. That's what their normal thing at the Carver is. But the opening reception is there, and I usually join in on shows. I don't like being in the spotlight, but I love to participate as long as I can hang out in the back of the room and kind of disappear for a little while.
Mhm.
But this one as a solo show, I'm still coming to grips with that. That's going to be an interesting thing. And this one, most big shows like that, you need to have some kind of story, some kind of message, some kind of something that people can gravitate towards, which
Tie it all
is something
together.
my brain, right? And that's not where my brain is. That's my wife's brain, and she's like, I got some stuff for you. But I finally found something. It's weird. April, you've seen some of my things, and maybe other people have as well, but some of the loopy stone carvings that I do with the ribbons and stuff like that. Come to find out, when I was about 4.5, I had spinal meningitis. And my mom, to keep me busy, would do these really loopy things and give me crayons to color in the little spots. And here I am 50 something years later, and I'm seeing a direct correlation with that imprint on this, and just finally realizing it. And also at the same time, I'm talking to a friend of mine here at the hospital, and he's looking at some of my things, and he heard the story, and he's like, well, this is neurographic drawing.
Oh yeah.
And
I've
I'd
heard-
never heard that term before. And I was like, neurographic drawing, which basically for us laymen is doodling. Just it's one of those weird universal clicks that I love. So it's going to be an interesting show.
Well, I can't wait to see that. But what's
Yeah.
your website? Carol asked in the chat. Is it Cody Vance Art?
What's that?
Your website?
Oh yeah, vanceartstudio.com.
vanceartstudio.com.
Yeah, Vance Art Studio on Instagram, vanceartstudio.com makes it easy.
Okay, great. Wonderful. All right, let's hear Carol,
That's
you can't
about it.
talk, is that correct? Oh, she can type. Okay, so type something, and I'm going to move on to Kimberly, and then we'll read what you've got going on, Carol.
Hi, Kimberly Alger. Excuse me. I'm over here with Help Heal Veterans at the Cahill Center in Temple, Texas. We have and supply free craft kits to veterans and service members to promote craft therapy. We just recently got a shipment in, so we have a decent amount of stock right now. Want to let people know that we have some different stuff out as well. But kind of what we do here is we are just stocked with craft kits that have everything inside of them to be able to complete whatever the project is. All of the supplies, tools, and instructions necessary. The medium can be across the board, anything from wood, leather. We have some painting kits, things involving fabric. Outside of that, we also had a good amount of donations for craft supplies and art supplies here. So we've been kind of putting out some little grab bags and mixed kits with some supplies as well to kind of get that out there. Just also wanted to put out there if there are any veterans in the area that would like to stop into our storefront and are wanting to try out a new form of medium or need art supplies in some way and aren't able to afford it. We have a decent amount here, so we might be able to help out and get someone started. So please send anyone our way that's looking to try to get in there with some craft therapy and to be able to express themselves. So we are just a tool here for the community. We also supply craft kits to other veteran service organizations. If you have an event coming up or a class and you want some sort of a project to do, or if you would like to have us have a table somewhere to be able to offer up those craft kits, we're nonprofit. All of our kits and our supplies are free of charge. But yeah, so we're down here down the street from the VA, and if anyone needs anything, definitely reach out. We also have a couple of things going on the calendar this month. We will be out there for the National Salute to Veteran Patients Week at the VA. So we'll be out there on Valentine's Day from 9 a.m. to noon. We'll have a table with some craft kits, and we're gonna be handing out some Valentine's cards. Outside of that, most every week on Mondays, we have our coffee and chat from 10 to noon. And so people can just come in, have some camaraderie, be able to connect with their local community. As well, most Wednesdays, we have our craft social, and that's from 10 to 1. And so you can bring in a project you've been working on if you're wanting inspiration to start a new project, or if you need a little bit of help getting through some techniques, or if you just kind of need someone else to bounce ideas off of. That's what we're here for, as well as the social aspect of being able to spend time with other local veterans and being able to discuss things art and craft wise. So I'll go ahead and drop our February calendar in the chat here. We also have a QR code on our calendar that if you go ahead and scan that, it'll send you to our link tree. That's regularly updated with our calendar. Our March calendar will be coming out shortly as well. From time to time, we do have classes with different medium styles or different kind of take-home projects. So definitely keep an eye out. Look for us there on Facebook and check out our link tree for any changes happening in the future. But yeah, if you know any veterans, or if any of the veterans on here would like to stop in, that's what we're here for.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And Carol put in the chat that she's a prolific artist. If she could turn on her camera, you could see all the great stuff. She usually has it behind her in her camera view. And she is on Instagram and Facebook at A Carol Original, and she's interested in leading art groups for to be paid as a teaching artist. And we've hired her before for different groups, and she's great. She can make art out of pretty much anything. So recycled artist, recycled material type artist. And then Denise is on here, and but can't talk either, but she works with us as well, and is also a prolific artist. And I put in the chat our upcoming, we have 2 new things that we just got solidified, so I haven't really sent out too much on them. But we have the mandala workshop that's going to be at Government Canyon State Natural Area near San Antonio. And it's taught by art therapist Selena Lorio from San Antonio. She's a wonderful artist as well. And so it's for any veteran, military member, and any family member of veterans. It can be spouses, it can even be children, you know, as long as they're supervised. It's going to be out in the park under a pavilion on April 20th. It's a Saturday from 10 to 2. So that's going to be a really fun workshop. And then we just solidified in also in San Antonio, Woodlawn Island House on Sunday, May 19th. This one's for women veterans only. It's a eco poetry, kind of a nature walk and writing program. One day, it's on Sunday, May 19th from I think 12:30 to 4:30. Moby Warren is leading that. And I just got that booked, so we'll get the information on our website soon. Carol asked, where's the mandala workshop? It's going to be at Government Canyon State Natural Area, which is like a state park near San Antonio, just outside. Beautiful place. And then Denise wanted me to remind everybody we're having our Women Veteran Strong meeting right after this, like an hour away, 12:30. That will be starting, and that's a virtual, back on Zoom. We're doing Brand Bell Arts is going to be teaching us how to put together a journal with an easy technique with envelopes and sewing. So that should be fun for our women veterans. That's that specific. And then, oh, I got a connection from, and Cody, I think you know these people, the Veteran Art Institute. I saw your work on their site. It looks like they offer online exhibits for veterans. I was going to see if maybe they could come to our next meeting.
Yeah, that could be good. I don't know much about them. I just joined them. But yeah, it's a free gallery. I think it seems like the veterans handle their own sales if that happens or whatever like that. But I think it's a good resource. And if
Yeah,
it,
it's real
it's
nice.
just like anything else. Right.
Yeah, so they just reached out to me, so I'm going to see if they can come talk to us next month, just to let you guys know what they do and how they can help promote your art. I know people are looking for opportunities to show their work and get it out there more.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, any questions for anybody? Any last minute thoughts?
I have some evidence here. I have,
Evidence.
yes.
Oh
you
yes,
remember
our book.
the
We
book
need to
from,
do that again. The reintegration project. That was nice. We published a book from our writing classes every year.
this one was from 2018. This one's from 2017. This one's from 2016. At the end of every year, these books are full of pieces written by veterans and during the classes that they attended all year long. And at the end of the year, everybody gets to donate the things they've written, and it comes out in these books. And then the books end up all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to do that again. That was a good project.
It was a lot of fun.
All right, well, thank you all so much for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aubrey.